Alrighty guys, welcome back to another one. We're doing another 10 gauge breakdown today, this time on Federal Premium number 4 turkey load. Obviously 3.5 inch, says mag. That's really all the haul says. I don't have the box. I got these loose in another box of 10 gauge shells. Still a factory load. You can see we have a Federal primer on there. It says 10 gauge and it looks like we have, I believe that's a goose. It's kind of hard to see. I don't know. The corrosion is making it hard to make out what that is. It's some kind of bird. Anyway, it says made in the USA, and this is an actual brass head on here. It's not brass plated steel. Obviously, this is a little bit older of a shell. I believe these are from the 80s or 90s, going off how the plastic style is, the writing on it. By plastic style, I meant this shell in particular has softer plastic than what modern Federal 10 gauge shells have. You guys that have messed with older Federal shells know exactly what I mean. The plastic is a little bit softer. They tend to crimp a little bit easier. Anyway, we have a little bit of corrosion right here. It's not rust because obviously this is brass. It's just tarnished a little bit. I don't know how these were stored before I got them, but you can't feel that. It's smooth. Zoom in a little bit closer, maybe you can see it's not really anything to worry about. Maybe that'll split if this is fired. I don't plan on firing it, but I have fired older shells from around the same time period with brass heads on them, not steel, and they sometimes split, they crack, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. But guys, I guess that pretty much covers the haul. There's not really too much to talk about. It's just a brown haul with a little bit of script on it. That's pretty much it. The crimp looks pretty nice. It just has a 6-point fold crimp on it. It has a decent taper. Focus, come on. Yeah, decent taper on it. Nothing really to write home about. And the crimp is kind of deep set. Could be a little bit better. I don't know if this is a 2-ounce load or 2 1/4. Could be 1 7/8. I have no idea. But if you look close, you might be able to see right in the center of the crimp, this does appear to have a sealant. There, you can see it better now. Not much is on there, but it's there. Kind of looks like aged yellow lacquer. But anyway, guys, let's crack this open and see how they put this together. I'm curious to know if this is a 2 or 2 1/4 ounce load. So, snooze and drink combo today is Mustang Loose. Hello, B. Get out of here. Where'd he go? There he is. Stupid yellow jackets. Anyway, yeah, Mustang Loose. Loose means loose. Anyway, and clear American blue raspberry sparkling water, which is really good. I like it. So for a payload on this, we actually have slightly more than 2 1/4 ounces at 2.273. And this is buffered. It is number 4 shot, and it is copper plated. And this is the second time we've run into this in a factory shell. I don't really think reloaders would have this issue, but see that gray pile mixed in with the buffer? That is powdered lead and some copper plating that is chipped off the pellets, I guess. But anyway, camera's having problems focusing on it, but yeah, that is lead dust. Nice. Needless to say, I will not be handling that. Now that I've got this opened up, you can see the sealant is much more pronounced there. Yeah, you can actually see it better now. Still yellow. Yeah, this does have a full-length wad, if you can see that in there. I did not expect that. Anybody out there like couscous? Myself, I've never tried it, but this just looks delicious. Anyway, you can see half of our pellets are still nice and copper plated. The other half is all flaked off. That's probably what most of that dust is, but you can see our buffer in there. Not much buffer. And if we look close near the middle, you can see chunks of our sealant mixed in with the buffer. So as you can see, this has 48.2. The wind just caught it, but you seen it was 40. There it is, 48.2 again, of a powder that looks like BD without the blue dots. And here's a better view of that. 48 grains of this stuff, actually over 48. That's a lot of powder for a 2 1/4 ounce shell. How slow is this powder? Maybe it's like equivalent to what little gun would be. That's crazy. That's a ton of powder. And here's our wad again. It's full length with what appears to be like a 7/8 slit, 4 pedals. Yeah, I did kind of mangle the top of the pedals right here. This wad was in there very, very tight, and I had to twist it with the wires right here to break it loose. But anyway, yeah, did not expect a full-length wad in an older shell like this. I bet these pattern really, really good. That is a very, very deep shot cup too. The bottom of it is pretty thin. The pedals are pretty thin. It's not a steel shot wad. See, it's kind of malleable. Maybe you could use it for steel with a Mylar wrap though. I don't know. But I'm curious how much lead this wad holds, because I guarantee you it's close to 3 ounces. But inside the wad, we do have a 1/2 inch 20 gauge nitro card. It's not a fiber wad or obviously felt or cork. This is actually pretty dang stiff. Yeah, this is not a cushion wad. That is just a sort of hard filler wad, similar to a nitro card. I don't know, kind of reminds me of those old Alcan Blue Streak wads. So yeah, kind of similar to those. But anyway, I'm going to see how much lead that this shot cup actually holds, because I guarantee you it's a ton. If any component manufacturers are watching this, please recreate something like this. That's 2 3/4 ounces of copper-plated number 6 shot, and you can see we do still have room to go up even more. Now, if you squeeze the wad shut at the top, I'm sure it would obviously come up a little bit, but there's still room for probably a 1/4 inch 20 gauge felt wad in there to add some cushion to it, and that's a 2 3/4 ounce load. We need a wad on the market that can hold that much lead, just for the guys like us who like shooting heavy magnum shells like this. That'll hold 3 ounces, no problem. I don't need to actually prove that, but actually I will. So there's 3 ounces, and you can see it's still not up to the top of the shot cup there. And once again, if we actually put this in the shell, it'll squeeze the top of the wad pedals together a little bit more, which will bring up the height of the shot. And it may not all be in the shot cup, but guys, I would really like to see a wad like this back on the market. The internal, what would you call it? Inside of the shot cup is not tapered. The pedals are straight all the way down to the bottom of the wad. That would be awesome for buckshot. You could probably get 35 cal in here, I would guess, because a 34 cal pellet stacked by 2s fits in a BPD 10 wad or a TPS. I don't know, I'm just impressed with this wad. It holds a lot of lead. But as for the hull, it's just a regular Federal 10 gauge hull, paper base wad that is a medium height. It's not below the primer, but it's also not above it. It is kind of flush with it. Yeah, nothing's fancy to see here. It's just an older Federal 10 gauge shell. So let's slap this back together and close it up and see if I can make it look presentable. And here it is put back together. As you can see, the taper on it is now much more pronounced, and the crimp looks pretty dang good. I call that a success, guys. But there is a breakdown on Federal Premium, vintage anyway, 10 gauge turkey load, 2 1/4 ounces of copper plated 4s, buffered and all. That is a pretty good shell. I wish Federal still made something like this, but now it's just the Grand Slams, I believe anyway. But still, you know, cool nonetheless. Fighting back a sneeze there. But yeah, thanks for watching. This was pretty interesting. We'll see you in the next one.